Hey, how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be a video for my weekly watches. I've been doing this segment. This is my third video, I think, on it. I'll be pretty much going through films I watched throughout the week and giving you guys my opinions and a brief review of each film. So, hope you guys enjoy this. Sit back, relax. Let's get this started. I got about 7 movies I watched this week. So I will be starting off with an 80s film here. It's going to be 1988's Pulse, directed by Paul Golding. And he also directed Beat Street from 1984. This stars Joey Lawrence. He also came on the show Blossom and other shows on TV. This also stars Cliff DeYoung. He came on Dr. Giggles. And we got Roxanne Hart. So that's a cast. This is an 80s, I'd say like sci-fi type of horror film. And this film has to do with like the electricity. There's some in the electricity. It starts off with a neighbor across the street pretty much being found murdered, electrocuted inside his house. And then you got a young Joey Lawrence, played by David. He goes to live with his dad, Bill, played by Cliff DeYoung, and his stepmom. I guess he splits time between them. So he moves there, and that's where the neighbor got killed across the street. And David starts to investigate and realize something's not right. He starts to see stuff wrong pretty much through the electricity of the house. And he knows it can be pretty much dangerous. And he believes it's what killed the neighbor and is after him and his family now. So you have some pretty creepy scenes throughout this film. I watched this one pretty much growing up. I hadn't seen it in years. So it was good to revisit. And it's still a fun film, man. And it used to have me scared of electricity since I was younger, and I know why now revisiting it. But yeah, I do like the practical effects in this and the tension and all that. So yeah, it's a real solid film. My rating on this, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. And I would recommend this one if you're definitely into those 80 horror films, sci-fi horror films. This one's a good one. That's Pulse from 1988. Next up, I watched this. This is a newer release from Scream Factory. It's The Widow. This is a 2020 film. It's a Russian horror film. And this stars... this is directed by Ivan Menin. Yeah, I'm not going to say the cast on this because they're all Russian. And I'll probably slaughter the names on every one of these guys. But yeah, these guys and girls... this is basically a film. It's set in the wilderness. You got this crew that... pretty much to go there to rescue people. They're trained for that, and they have these vests. They go in and they're training in the woods, but they get to this area of the forest that's supposed to be cursed, and pretty much end up getting stranded there. And as they get stranded there, there's a tale of this lady, the widow, who murdered her husband, and pretty much her form haunts these forests, but they don't believe it. And as they go out there for training, they end up going through some terrifying moments. You do have a supernatural force throughout these woods, which is pretty much stalking them and picking them apart one by one, or possessing them type. But that's basically the story of this one. This one I really didn't, my opinion, I was pretty much let down with this film. This is my opinion. I really wanted to see this lady on the cover, man, and you know what? It really doesn't show her through the film. So that was a disappointment for me. I thought it was very slow paced. It had pacing issues, and the story was overall not solid. You don't have really good... you do have a few creepy moments throughout the film, but there's not much on the killing part. And pretty much the victims, when they're pretty much taken, pretty much possessed, their eyes turn black, kind of like you watch the show Supernatural. That's all that really happens, and then you just see them go to their demise. They'll either commit suicide, kill themselves, and yeah, I don't know. This film was a letdown to me. If I have to give it a rating, and this is being kind, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. And I can't recommend this film because it was a letdown for me. But you know, somebody else might enjoy it. That's just my opinion, guys. So a 2 out of 5 for The Widow from 2020. Next up, we got a Vinegar Syndrome film. We got The Fear. Remember watching this, seeing this cover, not this cover, but the actual original cover at the video store and rental place back in the day. It's a 1995 kind of supernatural horror film, I guess, if you call it that. Maybe slasher in it. But this is directed by, actually I don't have the, oh, Vincent Robert. I couldn't find too much on him. It stars Eddie Bowes, Darren Eames, and Wes Craven himself is in this film. Vincent Robert did visual effects for Star Trek Into Darkness, one of the newer Star Trek movies. Yeah, this one's basically got these people going out there and they're pretty much go to a cabin pretty much to pretty much get help, and they all have fears of something, so they go to pretty much confront their fears. They have to go through this counseling. Got Richard, which is trying to help him, and he has a past as well, shady past, and they all have these fears within them. And as they go pretty much to this secluded area in the woods to face their fears, they start to realize that there's something wrong there. You got this wooden figure that's just there, and it has a history past as well, and they're wondering if it's coming to life, and picking them off one by one. It's funny because this wooden figure reminds me of Robin Williams and Centennial Man for some reason. It's pretty hilarious. With this, yeah, they start to get picked off one by one, and very suspicious of this wooden character that comes to life. Pretty much, is he or is he not killing him? Is the twist in this film. I won't discuss that. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed this film. It's not the greatest film, but it does have some tense moments and creepiness, and it has that 90s vibe to it. It has the hip hop in it and like a 90s real feel to it, which I enjoy. Grew up watching those. So yeah, overall, let me see what I could give this. This is my opinion, guys. I'm going to rate this one. This one's going to get another 3.5 out of 5. I could revisit this one for nostalgia purposes. But yeah, that's The Fear from 1995. I did have fun with that one. Let's see. Next up, we got Toolbox Murders. This is a 1978 slasher, sleazy slasher. This is directed by, did I even get it down here, guys? Sorry, Dennis Donnelly. He also directed the show Charlie's Angels. So you got, this stars Cameron Mitchell from Blood and Black Lace. He came out in several other films. Got Pamela Ferdine in the cast. So this film is straight up slasher, hardcore sleazy slasher. It's one of those video nasties. It starts off real good, man. You just have this killer with the ski mask and then his toolbox. He kills his victims with multiple different tools within his toolbox, and it's pretty brutal, man. The opening half of this film is just straight up slasher. You have some sleazy kills and pretty nice ones as well, man. You have drills, hammers, and he's just going out through this apartment complex, pretty much picking off these young ladies one by one, which I highly enjoyed. And then we fast forward to the second half of this film where it switches off. It goes to like a kidnapping film, so it goes to a completely different level. It almost seems like a completely different film. You get to the second half, and you got this kidnapping story. You start to see the backstory of pretty much this killer, why he's doing it. He had some tragically happen to his daughter, and it slows down a little bit, but it's still interesting. It has a good story to it. But man, I just wish this film would have been just straight up like the beginning. That dropped it off a little for me, but it's still overall a solid film. I enjoyed the kills in this one. The story was solid, acting was good, and yeah, I could revisit this one again. I would highly recommend the Toolbox Murders. My opinion, I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5. Real solid slasher from the 70s, man. 1978. That's Toolbox Murders. Next up, we got a shark film. This is Tintera, aka Tiger Shark. This is a 1977 film. This is a Spanish horror or creature film, but it has more to that, if you ask me. And yeah, this one it's directed by, hold on there a second, guys. Rene Cardona Jr. And he also has a box set coming out from us, Vinegar Syndrome, with some more of his films. I'm really excited for that. This stars Hugo Stiglitz. He came out in Nightmare City, one of my films I enjoy, one of my favorite films, zombie Italian horror films. Also stars Andres Garcia. This is a tiger killer shark movie, tiger shark movie, but to me this is more than that. It definitely feels like an Italian film to me, even though it's not. And it has that charm to it of the Italian horror films or Italian exploitation films. Takes place in an island. You got this guy Steven, played by Hugo Stiglitz. He's this rich guy. He's looking for love and romance. He goes to this island to trying to find his love. And then you got Miguel, played by Andres Garcia. He he's this kind of lowball playboy. He uses women, complete opposite of what Steven is, and he's just here to get the women. They have a confrontation with a female, and then they end up becoming like best friends. It's a blast, man. Then you see him go hit to this boat, and they're pretty much sharing women, partying. They're just living the party life, and they start to find like this charm for one another. At the same time, you got Miguel, who likes to go hunting for tiger sharks, and he does this insane hunt. He goes in the water and pretty much hooks them, which is dangerous because they're charging right at him, and gets a big thrill. And Steven, scared at first, starts to enjoy this as well. They both start to go tiger shark hunting, and as well when they get back, it's a party with females. It's a blast, man, this film. And then you see their strong friendship develop, like I said, and then you have these tiger sharks that pretty much hold a grudge, I guess, type, and they start murdering people around. So it takes a twist there, a turn, and you got these guys just trying to fight these tiger sharks and get them away from the island before the body count starts to rise. So that's pretty much this film. This one I highly enjoyed, man. I love the atmosphere. Like I said, it has that Italian oddness to it, which I enjoy. It's a creature feature also with a strong like story in it to me, and just a blast to watch, man. You'll have fun. So that's Tintera from 1977, aka Tiger Shark. Highly recommend that one. Oh, my rating, I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5. Really, really love this film. I could see myself revisiting this one. It's Tiger Shark. Okay, next up we have another one from me growing up that I watched, and this is I think it's a German edition, or I'm not sure, but it's Ghost in the Machine, 1993. Just directed by Rachel Talalay, and she also directed Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. This stars Karen Allen. She needs no introduction. She came out on Starman and multiple other films, guys. And then this, we got apologize if you hear my kids in the background. They're going a little crazy there. And then you got Chris Mulkey. He came out on Rambo First Blood. And this one has to do similar to like Pulse. It has to do with electronics and electricity. And it's pretty much a story about Josh, this kid, his mom Terry. They're like he doesn't have his dad, something happened, and he's pretty much this like rebel kid. He likes to get in trouble and stuff like that. And then you see him, they have this killer throughout the film. He's pretty much called the Address Book Killer, and he's been killing people for several months, especially women. He stalks them and kills them through their address book. And he's also a computer, pretty much engineer. He's a whiz at computers. He ends up getting in an accident and tragically dying. And as this happens, he gets put into the system, like a thunderstorm hits, and he's in there. And now he becomes like a cyber killer. He's inside all the electronics, and he's pretty much got, his last memory was the mom Terry by Carrie Ellen's address book, so he's after them. But on the same way, he's killing people all around him, and they start to realize something's wrong. So then they start to get Bram by Chris Mulkey. He plays like this computer whiz too, that's countering this guy. So it's a back cyber battle between these two, and it's his responsibility to protect Josh and Terry before this killer gets to them. That's pretty much the film. I had a blast with this one as well. The effects are a little dated in this one, but it didn't bother me because I grew up watching those. This is definitely a 90s gem. Really enjoyed the film as well. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 as well. It's a solid film. We got 1993's Ghost in the Machine. And now, my last segment, guys, is the hidden gem. This is not a horror film, I'm surprised, but this is a film that was my hidden gem of the week. It's going to be 1992's Light Sleeper. And this is like pretty much a crime drama. It stars it's directed by Paul Schrader. He wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull. This stars William Dafoe. Always known him as the Green Goblin and Spider-Man, but he's came out in several other films. Real great actor. He came out also in Platoon, great war film. You got Susan Sarandon. She came out in Witches of Eastwick and several other films. She needs no introduction. So yeah, this is a crime drama set in New York, and you could just tell that the guy, the writer here, had his influence on it because it has that grimy kind of dirty New York feel to it, which I love. And it pretty much circles around John, played by William Dafoe. He's kind of a recovered drug addict, and he's still a drug dealer. He's selling drugs. And then you got Anne, played by Susan Sarandon. She's the main drug source to them, so they sell drugs throughout New York. It shows them go through the nightlife of New York and just pretty much sell to, they're making their money. And then he has a love interest, which she was a recovering addict as well, but she wants nothing to do with him right now because she knows he's still in the drug life selling, and he just wants to get her back and leave the life. At the same time, he owes his debt to Anne, who pretty much took care of him money wise and all that. So you have him caught up in that. So he has to stay in this drug game hustle, to keep everything going. At the same time, he knows he's losing his love. So it has a love story to it, and then it flips into like a revenge film. You see a tragic event happen, and you see John just totally go against all the rules he was brought by, and he targets revenge on some people that did him wrong throughout this film. That's pretty much all I can give it without spoiling it. Man, this film's excellent. Like I said, it has that great New York grimy setting to it. Story's solid. You have a romance story, but then you also have that like drug life, New York nightlife, which is really shown out through this film. And like I said, a real good revenge story to it as well. This could be one of my favorite films, honestly, man. I really liked it, and it's my hidden gem for the week. That's going to be 1992's Light Sleeper. So those are my films, guys, that I watched during the week. Please hit a like, subscribe, comment as well. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Everyone be kind to each other. Stay safe out there. This is Undead Nightmare 24 with a weekly watch video. Take care. Peace.
She took them. Who took them?
Look at the camera?
No, just relax. Pretend it's not there. You guys, why do you rescue people? We each have our own reasons.
If you choose to go into the woods, it makes sense to wear something brightly colored. And don't forget to charge your phone.
The thing I hate most about my job is working with the dead bodies. When you know there's no one to rescue.
We always secure the first person we find.
If it's more than one person, hand off the first to the medics before going back. No gambling with lives.
We found an old woman in the forest, completely naked and apparently in shock.
Stop! She's convulsing.
Here, hold her head.
You should have just left me. It was a long time ago. She was Red Sophia, Sumarokov's daughter. They beat her and broke both of her legs. The metal rod. Then threw her naked into a dark pit. We all heard the stories growing up about a dead woman wandering around at night on her broken legs. Do you copy? I promise, my lady, to keep you warm. You shall not do the living harm. As long as I live in sacrifice. The widow won't allow anyone to leave this forest alive. You must spare the others' lives. Can you run? Save us, please! We're at sunrise and brightest day. I will serve you anyway.
Savage story of a monster tiger shark. Tintera that terrorized the tropical paradise they called the Island of Women. Starring Susan George as the girl who came to the island just for fun. Hugo Stiglitz as a rich young man in search of romance and adventure. Andreas Garcia as Miguel, the penniless Casanova of the coast that every woman adored. Fiona Lewis in the perfect island for a holiday romance.
You know, this place really is made for lovers.
But the Tintera changed everything. They lived together for laughs and love until the Tintera struck. Again and again.
You must be sick in the head!
Oh, it's my turn.
You're absolutely crazy!
Tintera. Fantastic scenes of real tiger sharks in action.
Saying that a local man in a car accident may have been the killer they've been hunting for the last 3 years.
5 seconds to total scan. What is it? This storm keeps surging the power.
We're losing him. He's dying.
Come on! Last night, a killer died.
Where the hell did that go?
His body was laid to rest. But his soul, that's impossible, has come online. This is gonna be fun, Terry.
Who is this?
I'm killing your friends.
Looks like there was someone else in here with us. The killer died in this hospital. And it was plugged into your computer. Something is coming after my son and my friends.
There's no way anyone can kill somebody with a computer.
Shred him.
The board is up. He's not in the computer.
You can't run, you can't hide, you can't win.
You know, David, it's a good thing your school didn't let out last week. We had a lot of excitement around here. What happened? A fire? No. Hank Jordan, the guy who lived there, just went crazy or something.
Spooky, ain't it? Did it talk to you? A voice in the wires.
Listen, please. He seems to think that what happened at the Jordan house is going to happen here. He called me through the wires. I saw it. And at night when you were gone, I felt it.
This man is about to commit the most atrocious crimes in American history. Linda Githens, age 22. Valerie Hoffman, age 24. Mary Ann Stevens, age 21. These women have one thing in common. They are all victims of the Toolbox Murders.
What the hell are you doing?
Toolbox Murders. On July 23rd, 19... Will. An experiment in fear.
It's going to be a field session.
A place where you can explore your deepest and darkest fantasies.
It's going to be a weekend of fear exploration in a controlled environment. You can explore your own fears as well.
A weekend where you will learn to face your phobias.
So what scares you, Leslie?
Whether it's the fear of heights or of beckoning nightmares, or won't go near the water.
Oh, man, you whacking me out here. What you afraid of, man? Humor.
There's someone or something
Something is wrong.
You know what happens to bad boys? You look at me!
From the mind of Paul Schrader have come some of the most provocative and controversial films of our time. Now, he brings us a new story of life on the edge. For John Latour, a dangerous career was the most comfortable life he had ever known.
Johnny, you want to have lunch with me tomorrow? 1 o'clock till 5?
You really think she means it this time? New Year's Eve. She had her chart done. New Year's Eve and out. No acid house, no product, no delivery.
What do you do for money?
It's not that much in the first place.
It's tax-free.
Mary, you don't have to avoid me. I'm straight.
You're dealing.
We were magical.
But John Latour is about to wake up and discover that everything he has is about to change.
It's what mattered to you, but you make it hassle. What? What do you see? What is around me?
I see a woman who has betrayed you. You tried to kill me. Johnny, what is this? Your beeper broke?
There's danger around you. It's very close.
Someone I know died tonight.
This was not an accident. This person was murdered.
Somebody sold her. Somebody upscale. Somebody classy.
They play with fake money all day. To them, cash is like some kind of theoretical concept. It doesn't apply.
I got a problem. I need a piece. Piece of what? A gun.
Johnny, it's business.
You drift from day to day. Years go by. Then a change comes. What a strange thing to happen halfway through your life. What luck.